gents, the World Cup draw, to run through it one after the other. I think that's now what we want to do, right, in terms of who is playing who. You could see it there on the bottom of the screen, the ticker going along. So to recap it, Group A, Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. Group B, England, Iran, USA, and then one of Wales, Scotland, or Ukraine. Group C, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Group D, France, and then one of the international playoffs, which I believe was, let me get this right. I want to get it right. Okay. That's the UAE, Australia, or Peru. And then that's Denmark and Tunisia. Group E is Spain, and then Costa Rica and New Zealand, with Germany and Japan. Group F, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. Group G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. And Group H, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. I didn't lie down after saying that. Of course, you can see it underneath there on the tickers going along. Gents, what's our initial reaction to that draw? Nick Mendola, I want to come to you. What's the toughest group there drawn out? Do we think it is? I think it's got to be Group C, right, in terms of Argentina, Mexico, and Poland. Do you think that's the toughest group?
Oh, boy. Sure I do. No, I honestly, I don't want any part of the Spain, Germany, Japan group. Japan is always a wild card in these tournaments. They're the ones where we know the least. One of those teams we know the least about. So that scares me. Guys, I'm flummoxed. I can't think about anything other than the United States group. And the thing I keep thinking about is I thought with Berhalter getting them back that they were in a 2-cycle coach situation now. And looking at this group, if they don't get out of the group stage, they are going to have a new coach for the second group. And this, I think the pressure is now absolutely huge, even if it's Ukraine, who I think is the best of the three. I think this was a day that the U.S. isn't just going back to the World Cup, but if they live up to their ability, if they choose the right squad, they should be expected, as Andy said, to finish no worse than second here. And who knows, if the England-U.S. game is last, we should be talking about them going into a game that's must-win for the group and the potential to play the second-place team from a winnable side. So even if they get out of the group, we're looking at the best group that I think you might want to pick to play in the next round, even though Sadio Mane is lurking there. So I don't know if you guys agree with me, but this was a day that the U.S. and all of the expectations should be no less than getting out of the group.
Andy, what do you think about that for the USM? Yeah, that draw worked out very well. You've got to be happy with that, right?
Yeah, group stage and then round of 16 progression, I think, sets up well. I'm looking at Group G and Group H down at the end, and those are going to be, H is going to be 6 absolutely incredible, highly entertaining games between 4 really good teams. And then Group G is going to be 6 really, really tough, dogged defensive affairs between some teams that are probably not good enough to beat Brazil, but teams that play in a way and have history of playing together in a way that will be very difficult for Brazil, I think, to break them down and to beat them. And so Brazil might come out of the group stage looking like the least impressive of all the giants in this tournament, but they might actually be the best prepared, the best steeled to steal a phrase from Nick from earlier. He got it out a little better than I did. But I think coming into the knockout rounds, they might be the team that has been tested the most during the group stage of those favorites to win this tournament. And so they might come out in a really good position there, because that group with Serbia and Switzerland in there, 2 very good defensive teams. You've got the X factor that is Vlahovic up top. He's just gone to Juventus as if he didn't move in the middle of the season and has just continued to do what he was doing before. And Cameroon, I think, a very, very sneaky, underrated team that's going to get in there and cause some trouble as well. So Group G and Group H, I am so glad, and you replace any of those teams with the U.S. and it probably looks like a group of death to us. And so to have avoided that, I know I said Portugal earlier before I knew the rest of the group, but to have avoided that, I'm very, very happy for the U.S. men's national team.
And Nick, how do we think in terms of the opinion of the favourite for the World Cup? Has that changed at all with this draw? Are we looking at the likes of Argentina being in a pretty tough group, or Spain, Germany, England? Who are we looking at here? Brazil, obviously, you've got some tough tough teams there to face off. Have we changed our opinion on who the favorites are to win the 2022 World Cup?
No, not really. I think Brazil's group is really tough, but I do think they're that good. France, to me, has as good a chance to come back and win back-to-back World Cups as we've seen in a long, long, long time. With respect to Denmark, who's a good team, I think most people would expect France to be better than them. Tunisia, and then the Asian CONMEBOL winner. I'm looking at them right now, and it's very difficult for me to see them not being a favorite. And I think you now have to, and I'm not just doing this, Joe, for you. I think you have to put England in the discussion. If they win the group, they'll get the second place team to come out of Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, or the Netherlands. And that's not easy, but I would expect them to be standing after one knockout round.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but you said it. But I think this draw for England, again, I'm open for ridicule when people can bookmark this video and say no, but that was a very good draw. I'm seeing the reaction from the British media. That was a very, very good draw for them. You can see it there. Group B, England, Iran, USA, and then one of Wales, Scotland, or Ukraine. British derby. I think Brazil will be pretty happy with that draw. I think France generally be quite happy with that as well. And Argentina could probably negotiate that. But I do feel like England did pretty well at that draw and going to finish in the top 2 of that group. And then I think have a pretty favorable route to the last 16. So it's going to be really interesting, guys. So excited for this World Cup now based on the draw. And we're going to have so much more coverage over at ProSoccerTalk at NBCSports.com later today. And until between now and November, when the actual tournament kicks off, I cannot wait for this. It's been
Joe,
really, really so exciting. Go ahead, Nick.
Can I say one thing? I know the producers have a comment ready that I saw. And this goes out to our guy, Handsome Eric. USA fans are the only ones who want an easy road. Top teams don't care who they play. Facts. Oh, alternative facts, maybe. Like this is that every team wants the easiest road. And I think you get into cliches here. You have to be very, I don't know. I am a stubborn person. And I always, to be the best, you got to want to beat the best. Yeah, if they're in your way. But if you can put me in the final today, I'd rather be cold and just have one game to win. I cannot. Sometimes a comment just leaps out you. And Handsome Eric, I like that you use the K at the end. I think maybe we could have a good conversation over a beer. But the all caps facts is too much for me.
There's a lot of facts flying around right now with this World Cup draw, but the fact is it's done. It's in the books, and we can now look forward to it in November.